There was a boy at school, and he just kept on and on and on. She walked up to him in the middle of the lunchroom and said, "We're done, we're not doing it anymore," and a few other choice words that she probably didn't repeat to me, and we were done. That one display in an open area in front of a multitude of kids, we haven't had a problem since.
Wow, well, that's one way to handle a bully, but is it the right way?
Yes, let's ask our experts, shall we? Kimberly Ridgely, counselor with Northside ISD, Dr. Deborah Healy, also with NISD, and our motivational boxing coach, Christian. All three of our experts joining us again to help us stomp out bullying. We want to help parents out there. Would you say that's the right way to handle a bully? I talked to this mother, and it was her teen daughter who had been bullied day after day after day for weeks and weeks and weeks, and she said she had enough, and she was a sweet, quiet girl, and she went up to the bully in the lunchroom and said that.
The parent did?
No, the daughter did.
The daughter
did. The teenager went up and said, we're done, you're not doing this anymore, and that's how she nipped it. Would you recommend that?
Well, I would say it's very important to prevent bullying before it starts, because once it gets to that level, there's always the risk that in an open forum like that, that actual violence could simply erupt.
But what about once it is there? Once you're at that level, because I think a lot of people are.
Then reporting to the adults so that the adults can intervene. I think that the daughter displayed great confidence and advocacy for herself is great. But my concern would be that it could have become a fight and escalated.
Become physical.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, look, I'm a big believer in standing up for yourself. But you're right, it does need to be prevented before it gets to that stage, because the last thing we want is violence. But I do encourage a lot of parents to get their kids involved in actual sports, because I find that, especially team sports, it does build a lot of self-esteem, and it builds that team camaraderie. And it just allows you to stand up for yourself and just say, hey, I don't appreciate what you're doing, back off, leave me alone. Some kids just will never have it in them to stand up to themselves like that. So, you know, and some will. Some will just reach a point where they'll just have enough.
Yes.
And I'll say, enough is enough. And that's what happened with me when I was 15 years old. I'd had enough, and I'd become so big and strong that I hit back, and I didn't realise how strong I was, and I actually hurt the other kid and put him in hospital.
Wow.
A part of me felt really, really bad, but then there was this part of me that had suffered for so many years that I actually felt really good, because I thought, you're not going to do that to me again, and no one ever picked on me again.
Yeah.
But Christian, isn't that why, I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but isn't that why, as the boxing coach you got and you teach young people, so that they actually, you said something very telling, they don't have to utilize those skills that they know.
They have more discipline.
I do my work all through boxing, and it's not for fighting at all, and that's the first thing we say to them, you never use this in the playground, never use this out on the sporting field. It's purely to build confidence, help them just be empowered and feel in control. And then what happens is these kids, they learn the art of boxing and self-defense that they never, they'll never go out and use it, because number one, they've got no energy to, they've expelled it all in the gym.
They're tired.
But they also realise how strong they are, and they're so confident because they know that they can protect themselves, that they, you know, that they don't use it. And what happens is the other kids actually realise that you know, they know who is confident and who can fight back,
and who will,
and who will, and the bullies will stay away from them.
Right. And Christian touched on several important things, that a student could be the one doing the bullying or the recipient of the bullying, and sometimes when a student is bullied by someone else, they share that and pass it on and bully others. We try to build confidence through a program called The Leader in Me, to begin with pre-K children, with young children, to build that level of confidence and self-efficacy so that they don't become good targets of bullying.
Well, speaking of confidence or lack thereof, what about you get the call from your school and the person on the other end says your child is the bully?
That can't be easy.
What do you think about, Christian?
It's not hard for any, like, I'm not a parent, so I'm the last person to talk about what it's like being a parent, but it must be difficult for a parent to receive a phone call and say your child is a bully.
And those conversations, I think, should happen around the dinner table from when children are very young, so that we build empathy in children, treat others the way you want to be treated, and having those daily conversations, building character. We work on the 6 pillars of character: respect, responsibility, trustworthiness, citizenship, fairness, caring. as parents have those conversations, it can help not to get to that end point. But if they do get to that end point, then clearly parents have to help their children take responsibility.
And Kimberly, if you do have a child who is a bully, and let's say the parent of the kid that is being bullied comes to you, what do you do as a school, and what do you tell the parents to do? Because they don't know what to do. Maybe they were bullied as a child. They've never dealt with the situation of being on the other end of the spectrum.
We talk about having honest conversations with your child or about the situation. Take responsibility. You know, is it an apology? Is an authentic apology? Are you having those conversations around the dinner table? You also look to see if there's maybe violence in the home. Are they replicating a behavior that they are exposed to as well, either in the community or at home? So
how do you stop it as a parent? My kid's bullying other kids. What do I do? Right now, what would you tell a parent if I said my kid's picking on everyone in the playground? What would you tell me to do?
I would say, first of all, consequences for actions. You know, what is a developmentally appropriate consequence for that? Teaching them what is not appropriate behavior. You know, if taking someone's toy on the playground, kids don't automatically know those things. They have to be taught those things. It's a learned behavior. And so unlearning that bullying behavior and helping parents with those strategies.
Is it not true, though, and Christian, you might want to touch on this, that sometimes a bully is acting out for other reasons? Yeah, well, they're hurting inside.
Yeah, I'd actually ask, like if I was a parent, I'd actually ask my son or daughter, I'd say, what's going on? Why are you behaving that way? I deal with a lot of kids that are the bullies. They're in delinquent homes. And you know, what I found the best way to combat bullying with them is giving them responsibility. I've actually, said to them, look, you know what? You're the tough guy in school, so I need you to do me a job. I need you to do me a favour. There's a few kids there that are having a hard time. I need you to protect them. You give them that sense of belonging, and all of a sudden they turn and they're like, yeah, wow, okay, yeah, no worries, I'll do that. And they go around protecting these kids.
Like use it for good. Right. Use it for good, not bad. Use your strength to help kids, not to hurt kids.
At the end of the day, we're always going to have bullies. We're going to have the kids that are strong. We're going to have the kids that are weak. We're going to have the cool kids. We're going to have the kids that aren't cool. You've just got to work with it. And I know, and I've identified who the bullies are in a school, wherever I go. And I say to them, you know, you're tough kids. You can hurt people. But what I want you to do is protect these other kids. They're part of your team. And all of a sudden, they've got a sense of belonging, of responsibility. Yeah.
Good advice, everybody. Thank you.
You're still not going anywhere.
Yes, stay here still.
We're not letting them leave.
Lots to talk about.
That's right. Coming up next, we have found a really fun, creative way to teach the littlest people of your family all about bullying.
That's right. This Texas children's author is sharing the story live with our daytime kiddos after the break. How cute are they?
That's hilarious.
Stick around. Daytime at 9, Bullying Special. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. We're going to have a little bit of fun with a serious topic, bullying. This is Sam Bromley. He actually spends his days teaching kids about bullying, the best ways to deal with it, and teaching them early, you say, is very important.
Oh, it's most definitely very important because that's the impressionable years. You teach them while they're young and give them a fun, exciting way to learn. They'll never forget it. You're creating a memory, and creating the memory is the best way to get them excited about the story. It also helps them learn to read.
So where did you come up with this concept? I know the first book is about Hunka Chunka Monkey, and they what they do is him and his friend they get fit, they get healthy, and then they go on an adventure, and that's when they meet Bully the Badger.
Well, about 18 years ago, I was playing with my little boy, and I called him a silly little monkey, and he got all upset and said, "Daddy, you're a donkey." Ooh. And over the next few weeks, I started calling him my Hunka Chunka Monkey, and he named me Runka Dunka Donkey.
Okay,
and then 4 years ago, I was sitting in the desert of Iraq, missing my family, missing the kids, and I remembered these two characters and wrote the story.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of pick up at the end of the first story with Hunka Chunka Monkey and his friend, and then you're going to lead us into Bully the Badger.
It's going to be an introduction, the last couple of pages, do a quick recap on all the motions, and then we're going to go into the introduction.
Okay, you ready? Everyone, enjoy.
Thank you. Are you ready? Hunka Chunka Monkey decided he would only eat his favorite double fudge dip chocolate chip cookies covered in chocolate chip cookie dough ice cream on special occasions, like his birthday. Now, Hunka Chunka Monkey plans to spend more time with Runka Dunka Donkey. He looks forward to each new day and can't wait for their next adventure. Yay! Now, you notice how the story, it says the end, but it really isn't the end because they go on many more adventures. Yay! Because Hunka Chunka Monkey and Runka Dunka Donkey go out and they meet Bully the Badger. Bully the Badger is not a very nice badger. He's just downright mean. He loves to kick and bite and scratch and shove and push, and he's just not a very nice badger. So Hunka Chunka Monkey and Runka Dunka Donkey teach Bully the Badger. We don't allow bullies in our playground. So please, if you want to play in our playground, you need to become a nice badger. And guess what? He becomes a nice badger, and he does such a good job becoming a nice badger that his name changes in the story. He becomes the hero because there's no more badgers in the park, and he's responsible for that. So he's the hero of the story. Now, if you ever get confronted with a bully, what you need to do is you need to be brave, walk away, and tell an adult. Can you remember that? I want to hear y'all say it. Can you be brave?
Be brave.
Walk away and tell an adult. I want y'all to say it real loud now. Be brave.
Be brave.
Walk away.
Walk away.
And tell an adult.
And tell an adult.
Because most bullies, they're just sad characters, and you need to work with them.
Okay.
And walk away.
So is bullying bad, everyone? Yeah. So we're going to be sweet to our friends on the playground, right?
That's right. Now, remember, very important though, a bully is not a bad person. They're just doing bad things. Right. Okay? Because they have problems too. But you need to get away from the situation by being brave, walking away, and telling an adult.
Sam, thank you so much. Let's give round. Can y'all clap for Sam and his story and Bully the Badger? Yeah. So people can get or hear more about Bully the Badger at your website, which is hunkamonkey.com.
Hunkamonkey.com, yes.
And when will Bully the Badger be available
Bully the Badger,
for sale?
we're hoping it'll be out in the fall. The book's already written. It's going through the editing stages, and it's also going through the process of getting the illustration, publishing, all the work done on it.
Oh, thank you for doing that. And Sam, thank you for being here. And thanks, Daytime Kids.
Thank you very much. Y'all were an excellent audience, one of my best. And each one of you going to get a signed book.
Ooh, a signed book. Okay, thank you, Sam. Great book. Can't wait to read it. Well, coming up next after the break, it's one of the worst kinds of bullying. We're talking about cyberbullying with our experts and how you can help your kids if they are victims of that. That's coming up after the break.